on their way to the UK. What does this mean for the team?
I think it's very special. We want to see this team being on the global stage. And I think for them it's a massive, massive reward. You know, I think for them to have done what they did last year, break all the records, do it in the manner with which they did, it's a fitting send-off for them. I thought it's going to be a very, very difficult task. I think Stellenbosch have actually set the bar very high. I mean, they went over there, they won it, you know, so we're not also going there just to compete and sightsee and say we're there. So I think we're going to put our best foot forward, but I think it's massive for the boys. And for the club to be on that global stage with those kinds of teams, that's the stages that we want to be, especially at youth level and also at senior level.
Also just very, very good opposition that you guys will be up against.
Top opposition, you want to test yourself against the best, and we'd like to see where we are in the same age group. I mean, if you look at the history and pedigree of the teams, I think also with the Leeds, we have a very nice kind of a history, you know. I think, you know, with Lucas Radebe being our former captain, Leeds former captain, you know, Leeds Football Club ambassador. It's a great link, it's a great story. And I think also for the boys to be hopefully with him there, to tell a bit of that story and the brand and what it took for him to get there is very big. Man United, I know that the chairman, he's a Man United fan, so it's a special one for him. To be able to go there and also get, you know, to watch 2 Premier League games, to have a tour of Carrington is special. I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Again, it's a challenge. They're going for work, so they have to go there and make sure that they put their best foot forward because it's about what happens on the pitch. But yeah, a great moment.
SD, just a quick update on Coach Vela. We don't see him there. Will he be traveling with the team?
Yeah, slight challenge with Coach Vela and Nobuhloko. They won't be traveling this time. I think when they were overseas for the World Cup, they weren't here to do their biometrics. So unfortunately, he won't be traveling with the team. You know, Coach Sheppy will be with the boys, and I think there's 1 or 2 other players who missed out on the cut. But I think it's unfortunate. You know, he played a massive role in where the guys are over the years, not just for the last season. And yeah, we'll be missing him, but he'll be with us. With the other guys, we'll be here and also spending some time across the road with the first team. So interesting.
Coach, I'm looking at the spirit here when the boys are training, but of course you just said others are missing the cut. There's one particular player who's missing the cut, not because he wanted to, but because the authorities say his age does not belong to this group. Whatever the story might be, he's missing this camp. He's not even at training. How do you deal with the young man whose dream gets to be on hold for a moment? Nina, as Kaizer Chiefs, what have you done to put him back to his good senses and make him understand that some decisions may be beyond us as a country?
No, some decisions are, and I think it's the same thing. I mean, one, you might think a door is closing, but it's not really closing. Look at the boys now. When they won the tournament, they were supposed to play in India. And when we were told that the India tour was cancelled, you know, everyone thought it's the end of the world and dreams being shattered. But then, you know, you put that behind you, you move forward, and then God said, no guys, the tour goes on and it's going to the UK. You know, you're going to play against Manchester United and QPR and Leeds. So, you know, it's part of the game at times. You know, challenges come to you, and especially at the younger age right now, I think it's important to also face these kind of challenges because there'll be tougher ones when they go across the road to the first team. So obviously the communication around the team and the support staff that we have is very important. So obviously, you know, we let the young men know that, you know, tomorrow's another day. Challenges happen, you got to keep your head down, keep working, because tomorrow an opportunity comes and you must be ready. So it's unfortunate, but of course not everyone can go. I think everyone played a big part in getting the team to where they are. Some players won't travel, some might travel next year, you know, depending on we win the league this year. So I think it's just about being positive and understanding that the doors will open when they're at the right time.
And for you personally as the sporting director, this is a beautiful club. With these young boys, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, what is it that you want to see happen? Of course, you speak about, you know, playing a top opposition.
Yeah.
Do you want 1 or 2 to stay in Europe to be looked at? What's your outcome from this?
We know for us, we want these boys to be able to realize a dream. You know, so, you know, we've never been a club that stands in the way of players progressing and going on to new territories. I know if their ambitions were just to stay at Kaizer Chiefs, then there'd be something wrong, you know. So we want to see them having the ambitions of wanting to go overseas and, you know, applying their trade in England and, you know, fighting to make a name for their family and for the country. Because now it's not just about representing Kaizer Chiefs in the badge, it's national duty. You know, they're going to go represent the whole country right now. So I think if they have those big ambitions, it's important. And I think also that's also a big testament to the work that the technical staff have done. You know, they also went slightly younger with certain players and gave them a chance. I mean, look at Neo at 15 already, you know, being the youngest ever goal scorer at DDC. So it's testament to the work they've put in. I would love for SD of Man United to say, listen, can we have a call about 1, 2, and 3? We open that, and we just want them to realize their dream and to really grasp the opportunity, be present, and just immerse themselves in the culture. The weather will be different. It will be a challenge. It's cold. I mean, the highest I think it will be about 11 degrees. So it's an experience that you can't really put words or amounts to. It's just a very special day, and we want them to just grasp it with everything.
You speak of national duty. The first team went on some form of national duty over the weekend. Didn't do so well. Maybe just how do you assess? Okay, and I know it's just like the first group game, but just what happened up in Egypt surely wasn't good.
No, I mean, you want to go and get maximum points. You don't want to come back without points. We also left early, planned quite well for the trip. I think it's not a result that we wanted. Also looking at the goals that we conceded, but we have 5 games to play. I think if everyone can look back and remember the team's sort of journey in the Champions League, the first game we lost 4-0 to Wydad, and the team went on to the final, of the Champions League. So it's a mini league format. You got to stay focused. It's very important that we get a result at home. Home is going to be very important for us. But we regroup. We're looking forward already to the next challenge in the weekend. We have to go out and get all maximum points. Zamalek will be a tough team. Big history, rich history, coming off back of a victory right now. But at the same time, also won't be easy for them traveling this side, going to Bulukwane, playing in hopefully at the heat of 3 o'clock for us on Saturday. But no, we just refocused on what we need to do now. Wasn't the result we wanted, but I think the coaches, the players, they have already been having our analysis session, even though we travelled and only arrived today. Had a bit of an analysis yesterday. I think they really know what's going to face them this weekend, and we just need to rectify and make sure we can put points on the board.
Your youngsters obviously heading out to the UK. You touched on Stellenbosch's success in previous years in the Premier League Next Gen Cup.
Yeah.
Is there any, and you've obviously spoken also about how this will be a great experience for your boys, is there any goal that the club has set or internally within the team with regards to results? Or is it simply kind of the experience in mind that you guys are going?
Well, it's always about the performance, I would say. For us, especially at youth level, it's you can win the league at DDC, but if you're not producing players for the first team, you're also not achieving your goal. So for us, the main goal at youth level is for them to be able to play, get the experience, understand the philosophy, understand the culture, and be able to transition to the first team side. If we're not getting that right, then that's where the challenge comes into it. So we very much reinforce with them that it's about the performance. Even last year, they set the bar high, they scored the goals they did, they achieved what they did, but that's a byproduct of doing the things right. And at academy level, it's not about winning trophies, it's about the performance. And winning is always a byproduct. Of course, you want to instill and have a winning culture. Let them know what it means to win, but it's more important for them to focus on how they need to play, the kind of men they need to be as young men, individuals, how they need to grow up. And I think the winning is a byproduct. Of course, we'd love to go in there and say we can win the Next Gen Cup. It would be great. Success and winning have always been synonymous with this team, so we'd love that. But I think it's more about them going in and putting the right effort, right performance, and the results will come. You can go in there, not have the greatest tournament, and still be selected by a top team overseas. So there's many ways you can sort of deem what will be successful. But I think that they're very much focused, understand that it's about them instilling the principles, being present, absorbing everything, and then just giving their best. And what comes after that day will come.
SD, I'm looking at this whole era of yourself. I know you probably might not like to have a reflection on your work. Kaizer Chiefs, I mean, they might have lost their away game. They might have not been, coming back home with the 3 points. But these boys are going to a big tournament. As your youth, Kaizer Chiefs is doing well. It's good to see Kaizer Chiefs in a topic of league chasing teams and also back in the tournament. Just take us through what some of us see as the improved Kaizer Chiefs. What's left from you to take now that the club is in those big conversation, youth conversation, CAF conversation, and of course the league conversation with, of course, the trophy that you won. Just give us a wrap of that.
No, I think it's very much a collective effort, and I think it stems from many years ago when we took a kind of a deliberate step to restructure and lower our average age and take a kind of a different direction. And if you look at the setup of the technical team at youth level and their proximity to the first team and that sort of transitionary area that we kind of invested quite a bit in, It's very much a plan, but I think on the youth side, a lot of credit must go to the technical staff. You know, I think Coach Vela, Coach Shepi, and how we also operate here is even, you know, Coach Bamji, Tidiso, Coach Jumbo, they all work as a unit. You know, they work as a unit. They assist each other on the different age groups because we want a kind of a seamless approach that everyone, you know, from under 14, 13, all the way up to DDC play a certain way. So credit must go to them. You know, they're the ones who put in the hard work. The youngsters, the parents who also, you know, trust us with their children, to give them the opportunity to drive here every day, to organize, you know, the transport and to be actually the rock at home, which we need them to be. So they play a massive part. And I think on the first team side, it's also, again, at the moment in time, nothing has really been achieved. We are on track in terms of what we want to do. We know that last year a big goal for us was to get back into Africa, and winning the Nedbank Cup a couple of months ago also opened that door. But now we've got our next stretch, which we're focusing on and what we need to achieve. We're in the group stages. It was important. Now we need to find out our strategies to make sure that we qualify for the knockout stages. In the league, again, I mean, we've only had one defeat. You know, and I think that, you know, we're tied actually second on points, but also we're fourth on goal difference. It's a good start. At the same time, the league is a marathon, a lot to work on. You know, we're going to have jam-packed fixtures come to Jan because, you know, we've got this AFCON coming up now. There's a World Cup year next year. So I think the period when we come back from the AFCON and when Jan starts is going to really be a true test of where we are. So I think it's very much just keeping our heads on the ground. You know, we need to make sure that we stay focused. We've done very well in terms of one area, which is also reducing the amount of goals we concede. But we need to make sure we convert our chances. It's a work in progress. I think that the technical staff also, you know, from the first team side, Coach Khalil and Coach Cedric are working very hard together with the analysis team. And I think the players next door, as a group, are gelling quite well. There's a lot more understanding. I know that we had a result we didn't want this past weekend, but I think we're very much focused on what needs to happen. And I think, again, it's a work in progress. Everyone's working, putting their time in, but I think we'll talk at the end of May to see what we've achieved.
Also, just speaking of the AFCON, I think you would have seen the prelim squad being announced. And as always, because Kaizer Chiefs is a big club, there will be noise about the number of Chiefs players or the lack thereof. Just going into that, do you also, like from a Kaizer Chiefs perspective, maybe see it as a benefit that maybe you guys will also have most of your players here just to work on certain things, even during that AFCON break, even for a league push?
I think if you had to ask anybody associated to any club, they want to have as many players in the national team as possible. You know, and we're very proud also of the work that Hugo Bruce has done. For the mere fact that he's had a formula that's worked for him, qualified us for the AFCON, qualified for the World Cup. It's a massive task. He's done a great job. From our side, all we can do is we just obviously want the players to focus that your league performance, what you do at the club level, will determine what happens at the national level. So they've got to work, they've got to put their heads down and give their best for the club. When you hear 4 players being selected, it's a boost. It sounds great, but of course it's a prelim squad. The coach has his plan for the tournament. We hope that we can get as many players on that stage representing the country in AFCON as much as possible. But I mean, you know, the work that Hugo Bruce has done has been tremendous, and yeah, it's great to see.
You touched on the parents, and that was my next point. I mean, most questions that we get from parents, I mean, I'm community based. It's how do the coordination of the intake of players happens at Kaizer. So we might have that off air or offline. But for yourself as a chairperson, sorry, as an SD,
chairperson.
I hope he doesn't hear this.
No. He hears everything, trust me.
I hope he doesn't hear this.
You must delete that.
As an SD, we are your players. We are here. We are jetting out tonight.
Yeah.
What is your message to us?
Well, to the players, it's just about being present. You know, I think you can say as many words of motivation as you want, but to be present is going to be key. You know, if they can just be in the moment, what does the moment require? It requires us to be, you know, to eat well, to rest well, to focus on our game, listen to the coach's instructions. I think that's what will stand out. The performance comes from that, for them really to go out there and respect their families, respect the badge and the country, and just to give their best, so that the whole country will be supporting them. And they're very close to the chairman's heart. So I know that the chairman is going to be seeing them off before they go also. He's very excited, you know, quietly optimistic. So it's for them to be present. You know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No one knows what happens tomorrow, and at youth level to be on that kind of a stage, it's a massive plus.
Thank you.
Thank you.